So we got to talk about love and hip hop. What is this? Episode 7 of season 11. It's called Sorry, Not Sorry. So I just watched the episode. For whatever reason, on Tuesday nights, I'm not really trying to be sitting in front of my TV watching, the shows because I would prefer to be lounging watching some of my favorite scripted shows, right? And since I reviewed this show for work, I just happen to usually watch it the next day, which is why you're getting this recap now. So, chime in and let me know if you happen to catch last night's episode of Love and Hip Hop Atlanta. And if you did, you will also know that Love and Hip Hop Miami is coming back as well. So you guys will have that to look forward to in about 2.5 weeks, I believe. So I don't know if I'll make it to that show and review that, but I definitely am interested in this one still. So let me know if you enjoyed this episode or not. I am going to give it, I think I'm going to give it like an 8.5. I mean, I was amused. Overall, I find that Yandy to me, I love Yandy. I absolutely adore Yandy. I don't necessarily know that she really. I'm not sure of her role on the show anymore. You know what I'm saying? I think that Yandy is a successful businesswoman. She has a beautiful family life. Mendeecees is home. And I just kind of feel like, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about her still participating because it does seem a little bit like there's really nothing left for you to give. You know what I'm saying? I feel like her most dramatic days are really behind her. And so it feels like a bit of vanity legacy to still have her on this show. Now, again, hey, listen, I'm all for somebody getting a paycheck, so I want her to stay paid and prosperous. But at the end of the day, when I look at the mechanics of the show, it really seems to focus more around some of the, I don't know, like the spices, the Sierras, the Chicanas, you know, I don't know, that whole group of ladies. But anyway, she's back. Um, and we do have a bit of story that we need to talk about there. Let's start off with Scrappy and Sierra because they still going to edit from last week. And in my notes I wrote, did he just call her a B? Like, did he just call her the B word? Now I know some of y'all feel like, it burns my biscuits when I see men reacting to women with the same energy that they are being given. Now, I say this because I just feel like it's just about how I was raised, right? Um, I was just raised and come from an era and a time where you just, as a man who may be physically more imposing, you don't react with the same energy that a woman may be reacting to you. Now, does that make the woman right? No. But then two wrongs don't make a right. I mean, it really doesn't. So I just have an issue with him calling her the B word. Now, granted, if she had never jumped into the mix, she wouldn't find herself on the receiving end of these B words and his energy. But the way they kind of going around the mulberry bush, it's just not sitting too well with me, for me. There's even a moment where he kind of like he swats her hand away and he's just, I mean, he's literally matching her energy. He's doing some of the same things purposely that she's doing to him. And again, for me, it's just the time and the era that I grew up in. I gotta say it because as I look at the comments, I'd be shocked at some of the comments I read where y'all be like, well, she ought to stay out of his face. And that's true. Yes, I think that goes without saying. However, as the man, it's no need for him to call her any B word or anything like that. It's no need. I just feel like he could have walked away from that situation very easily, right? And so I don't know if it's to give scene, But I feel like giving scene can go wrong real quick. And what I mean by giving scene is, I mean by, oh, we finna hype this scene up. We about to make this, we about to make this pop. I'm already mad anyway, so we about to really go in and give it 110%. The problem with doing that is that, as I always say, if the tension continues to go up, it is really about to go down. And while I do see that chaotic is, dipping and dodging in and out of the convo and whatnot, I do feel like him finally pulling him away was like for the best. But at this point in time, it just kind of ends in, pun intended, chaos. Okay. And Sierra's crying on the phone with somebody or whatever. So Mendeecees apparently had this Shannon Sharp interview. Now, his mom is angry with him after this interview. Now, I can't blame moms, because I don't know that I don't think I knew this bit of intel. But apparently, Mendeecees is on a path of, you know, I would say maybe healing, and talking about his journey, hoping to empower others. And I do believe that, when we go through things in life, it's never for us, right? A lot of times we think, I mean, it is for us, right? But a lot of times what we go through is also to provide a testimony for other people who may be going through it. And sometimes, God puts it on us because he knows it's something that we can deal with, even when we think that we can't, right? And so now he has an opportunity to educate people on not making the same mistakes that he has. And so for that, I really respect him, and I respect the story behind that. But the knowledge that in telling your story, you got to tell the part. I mean, it's up to, I mean, I don't know, talking about how wrong it was of him to put his mom up for collateral, like to put his mom's address up for collateral, when he was moving the weight, as Yandy says. That's just a little too much for me. Okay. Like, I mean, your mom's, like, bro, like, oh no. And granted, he's in a different headspace now. So I'm trying to look at the situation from a global perspective. But the reaction that I had as I was taking my notes was like, oh no, sir, you cannot, not giving up your mama for collateral, not giving up mom's address. I mean, that's where you go for sanctuary. How you gonna give that up? Anyway, this ain't the first time he's brought her up, and so he might should just want to leave her name out his mouth, and just kind of maybe respect the fact that she don't want to be brought into that healing journey, because his healing journey is definitely his story, but maybe leaving certain parts of the story out of it would definitely still, go a long way towards, sending the message out. Don't make the same mistakes that I did. You might not even need to add in that whole part about I gave up my mom's address for collateral. No, player, we don't need to know that. I didn't need to know. I didn't. But now that I do, I can't unknow it. Anyway, Spice goes to get her stent removed. However, they couldn't remove the stent because they found another hernia. So this makes 2 hernias that she has, and this one is bigger than the last. Erica Mena, Bambi, Sierra, Yandy, Amy Luciani meets Jessica White for a sound bath and yoga, meditation, spa, and such and such and such and such. Bambi tells Sierra that she and Scrappy broke the internet because their argumentation is all over the place. I do remember when this came out, the news came out about it. It's so funny looking back on it. I didn't report on it, I don't think, because I kind of wanted to see, when the season was going to air, if it was going to air. Like, I didn't know what was going on with it. Rashida joins them. Rashida and Yandy go into the spa first. The other ladies start talking about keeping their standards high when it comes to dating these dudes. They talk to, Bambi brings up Jessica talking to Safari at Carly Red's daughter's was it the gender reveal? I think it was. I think. Um and Erica, basically Rennie Rucci told Bambi that Jessica and Safari were flirting with each other. And Erica's like, well, no, I told him I knew Erica, and Erica wants to know, well, girl, was you flirting back? Okay. And Jessica's like, no, of course not. I didn't even touch him. But the flashback shows you did, girl. Now, I do like Jessica, and I feel like she has a great story. However, um, this is what I feel, and you guys may get on my case about this. But is there any part of y'all that kind of feels like I understand that she's still going through this whole story with, Nick, and however, like I don't understand. I don't understand because I don't know their relationship. I don't know. I mean, was she willing to be, in a relationship with him while he was in relation with other women? Or did she not know about the other women? I'm still not too clear on that, and maybe she said it and I just forgot. What I do feel like is that she used that in this instance as a crutch to sort of get out of jail, okay, and to sort of back away from her actions with Safari, because the camera clearly shows that that she told Safari that she would hold space for him, whatever that means, as a friend or whatever. And that Safari was looking at her like a slab of meat, okay? And at the end of the day, I felt like, she was giving flirtatious energy. And, the girls gotta tell her, like, yo, you move kind of like a little, on the sexy side. So it could be perceived as flirtation. And that's gonna be something that she needs to look out for. And she's not gonna always be able to use her situation as a way to get out of her actions in the present. Okay, let me just say that because I'm peeping that, right. That's just me. Not to say that I don't feel for her and what she's going through or what she's going through, because she will bond with Erica later when they talk about having issues with fibroids and stuff like that. And Erica does have to tell her, you might have to watch out how you move around these people, because your flirtatious ways could be perceived as something more. So I don't know how much further we're going to get into that situation, but I do know that I don't believe that Erica is going to be pleased when she watches the playback of this episode. um Yandy talks to, I have an issue with this episode, and one of those issues is this. Yandy and Rashida have conversations about their men and what Mendeecees is going through with his mom. And then Rashida alludes to Kirk having some issues as well. Now, obviously, we will see those issues play out, with Mendeecees and his mom. And it looks like we're going to see some of those issues play out between Kirk and Rashida later. But I would have appreciated some build up to those issues being spoken about, because without any other information, it's kind of like you guys are just telling us about these issues and not showing us these pivotal moments that are allegedly happening that we aren't seeing with you and your men. Because even in the Mendeecees situation, it just looked like he was troubled about it, and that was that. We didn't see the impact of it. So for me, it just kind of felt like you're just telling me stuff. And I always talk to you guys about, when we watch these reality TV shows, when you're telling a story like this, you have to show and tell. And what I mean by that, for those of you guys who may be new here, is that you have to show me what you're talking about. You need to show me Kirk being frustrated and upset and taking things out on Rashida. You need to show me Mendeecees doing these things to Yandy for me to understand what you're really telling me. Otherwise, the story that you're telling honestly feels incomplete. Okay? So just take that as a note, production. Not that anybody's listening to me. As they all separate, Amy Luciani talks about looking for, a man that can at least go 50-50 with her, or she would really like somebody that can be like 90-10, And Yandy and Rashida got to tell her, like, girl, no relationship is going to always be 50-50 90-10, it's always going to be a moving scale because people are going to have ebbs and flows in their lives. And that's just the way, the nature of how relationships work in general. It's not going to always seem like it's 50-50. I mean, that's just it. So I thought that was good. Mendeecees meets with Miss Judy, in New York. That's his mom. And they have a little ponderosa about what he said on the Shannon Sharp interview. The thing that I didn't like about this conversation was that Mendeecees was kind of very much like, all that I've done for the family, everything I was doing back then, I did for the benefit of the others in our family. And I'm like, you saying that you gave your mom's address up for collateral and that was for the family? I don't think so. While I do think that there were benefits that the family may have received as a result of you doing whatever you were doing, I just don't think that particular action right there was one of those actions that provided a benefit to the family. If anything, that presented a danger to the family. So I don't like how he kind of downplayed that. He should have just apologized profusely, in my opinion. But it is what it is, and they seem like they're in a better place. Over at Chaotic's video shoot, Erica Banks shows up, and this video is supposedly about appreciating women. Now, what Erica doesn't know is that she's invited to be the main girl in the video. Amy Luciani is invited to be the main girl in the video. Sierra Gates is invited to be, I guess, a main girl in the video. And so Amy is looking like, no, wait, what's going on here? Sierra rolls up because she just really want to confront Chaotic about not standing up for her, and not, not breaking the Scrappy and Sierra fight up before it escalated to the point that it did. And Chaotic, to me, one of the things that he tells her, and he says this in front of Amy and Erica, he says, "I'm not your knight in shining armor." Now, Sierra takes that as, well, because I'm not banging you, I'm not going to help protect you. Now, you're doing this video as a, I appreciate the women, but for me, I didn't take it as, because I'm not banging you, I'm not protecting you. I took it as, don't look to me as a man to be the protector of y'all as women in general. And I need for Amy and Erica to listen to that. Listen to what this man is telling you. Because just as soon as he would bump and grind up on Erica Banks while he think you not looking, you're accepting that behavior. And so I feel like they're all just accepting what I term to be behavior that is less than what they actually really as women deserve. And I feel like Chaotic at this point kind of realizes, like, I mean, I can get away with giving less because they're going to accept it. I don't need to stand up for any of these women because why? Why should I? I don't have to do that. And I'm still able to pull them into my world and get them to do what I want them to do because of who I am. And I got a couple of gold chains around my neck. So anyway, Sierra's like, but this man cursed at me. He put his hands on me and you ain't do nothing. Okay. Now, his stance is you shouldn't have got involved. True tea, absolutely true tea. And even as she's leaving and Amy tries to reason with him, like, yo, bro, like, you got to listen to the words that she was trying to express to you. He's not really trying to hear it. So she dips as well. Okay. And Erica Banks is still there because she's like, I'm gonna get my video on. So anyway, Scrappy then pulls up and Chaotic pulls him to the side to convince him to apologize to Sierra, or to tell him at least that they both need to apologize. Scrap suddenly does not remember calling this woman a B or putting his hands on her, but he will give the same energy to a woman that they are giving to him no matter what. He does not care. Okay. And that to me is where we have an issue. Okay. It's just how I feel. As a man, I can't give you that same energy. I cannot do that. I do not listen. I'm going to walk away from a situation before I get caught up arguing like that with somebody, because at the end of the day, it ain't worth it. You know what I'm saying? If you know your truth, Scrap, about what you do and you don't do for your family, because only you know that, um, then why are you bothering to defend yourself from anyone when especially it's your mom who is spreading these rumors about you and Diamond? Okay, you deal with your mama instead of dealing with these women that are coming up to you. You ain't even got to talk to them about that, right? Um, and furthermore, what I would have to say is if you feel like they are antagonizing you purposely, that is another reason to just simply walk away. However, if he wasn't acting like this, then we would have less to talk about. So there's that. So I don't know. I balance it out with, but is it traumatic television for entertainment? I don't know. I don't know. You guys let me know in the comment section down below. Chaotic then realizes that Scrappy is basically denying everything he did, okay? And he tells her, like, yo, bro, you owe her an apology. And then he tells him, as a man, he needs to be able to talk to her without matching her energy. And that was probably the most profound thing that I have ever heard fall out of Chaotic's mouth. Okay. Yandy then meets up with Rashida at her crepe restaurant. They catch up with Spice. They recap the Erica Mena versus Scrappy and Mama D argumentation. They must not have seen the Sierra argumentation at this time. They ask how Spice is doing, and she confesses that she has another hernia. This one is bigger than the first. She thinks it's because they opened her chest up and they didn't close it back. And I'm like, why? Why didn't they close it back? But I don't know. Anyway, she feels like she's going to pass early. And I'm like, oh my God, like that's serious. And so they try to wrap her in a warm embrace. And then her daughter calls. Her eye is swollen for some reason. Something's going on. It looks like she might be having an allergic reaction. I really don't know. Spice is not anywhere near her daughter because her daughter is back home and Spice is here in the States. So I just don't know what's going on with Spice and her daughter. I have no idea, but Spice get to going outside and she get to crying. So it's just more drama. I mean, it's literally like I do feel bad for Spice. I mean, I feel like she is going through and through and through and through and through and through and through. So I don't know. Y'all just have to lift up your hands in prayer for my lady Spice, and then we'll see what happens on next week's episode.
So, Desiree Davenport, what are you hoping to accomplish with this show?
Honestly, I've lost everything in the most horrible way possible. And listen, I want it all back. I'm willing to build it piece by piece, and I mean brick by brick.
Oh, honey, she is done. I bet you a Birkin she doesn't last all season with us. Just watch.
I'm Misha Hill, and I'd like to consider myself the matriarch of this dynamic group of ladies. I mean, someone has to keep them under control.
I'm Davita Delaney.
I mean, I think I could teach these ladies a thing or two about how to get and keep a good man.
They said she was a gold digger. Gee, you did for me.
I'm just really looking forward to being surrounded by other empowering bosses.
Yes, I know exactly what she's doing. And if she keep playing in my face, I'm gonna have to let out all her dirty little secrets just like she did to me. And I'm not playing.
Let's get this straight. If I brought you into this circle, I just as easily can take you out. She ain't running nothing over here, okay? She needs to be worried about running that household and worried about why that husband of hers is never at home.
Oh, hell.
Ooh, child, this is about to be a mess.
Oh my God, I hate mess. What in the world did I get myself into?